Hello, Claire.
Morning.
Yeah, I'm a little late coming in. I was talking on the phone. Hopefully everybody else come on in. What's up, Ms. Bradford?
Good morning.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Sylvester.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I don't know why.
Every time I go in to try to do my second program, my project, when I go to create and when I name it, like if I name it program 4.cpp, it's not letting me do it. It's telling me that a file, when I put it on my desktop or any file, it's telling me that I can't do it because the file already exists.
Well, they want you to override.
What am I doing wrong?
Now, let me ask you this. That's when you first start the project?
Yes. When I go in to create.
Yeah, but when you go to create, you're creating a project. So each one of your projects should be a different name if you're not just using the same project to do all of them. You understand? So you should create a new project with a new name each time. If you want to keep,
I'm doing. Hold on, let me show you.
If you want to keep everything as a project.
Okay, when I go to
Visual.
when I set it up, I go to Visual C++.
Right, and then the
I
wizard.
go to create.
The desktop wizard.
Where I go to create, Windows Desk, make sure I'm in Windows Desktop, then I go to wizard.
Right.
I give the project a name.
Correct.
What name am I giving it?
That's whatever name you want to call it or refer to.
And that's what I'm saying. I give it a name, program 4.cpp, right?
No. See, the project is not .cpp. Your source file is .cpp.
So what is the project name?
Just give it a name. An extension gonna be automatically added based on the application you're using.
Okay, now if I put it in the folder of my desktop.
No problem.
Okay, so when I
but you don't give it an extension. It's going now. If you knew the extension, I forgot what the extension is. But if you would give it an extension, you'd have to give it that extension with the application, because it's looking at when you do .cpp, you're throwing it off.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't do
the .cpp. Where I put it at, it's not going to come back and tell me that the file already exists. If
you've already have one with that name, yes. Like say, if I start with project 1 and create a program and do whatever, then the next day I'll say, okay, I want to create a project 2. Hey, I can't create it if it already exists. I can open it, but I can't create it. Like a Word document.
So once I get in and I right click on the source file,
that's
okay,
when you
all
give
I'm
it.
hitting is the header and the CPP, right?
Well, that's right. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I don't know. It just keeps telling me.
And a data file. You do your data file.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, you tried to give the project a .cpp. You can't do that. No. That's like me trying to create a Word document and do .jpg. No, a Word document end with what? .doc or docx. Yeah. Okay. When you create it. Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Oh, my video showing.
The roll doesn't seem to be working again.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, it never worked yet. I never fixed it. Put put your name in the text box, in the chat box. Let me see something here. Okay. Okay, who will I have in there? All right. So now, questions about this assignment, class?
Hell to the yeah.
Well, like what? Talk to me.
It's hard. I'm not lying.
I know it's hard. I know it's hard.
And I mean, every time if you miss something, just the little tedious thing, it throws you off. And
that's correct.
Then how to find all of this stuff.
Right. Okay. Anybody else?
Well, hey, you ain't answered mine yet.
What? No, you say any little thing, right? So what's your
Yeah.
question? What's your question?
Huh?
What's your question?
It's like I'm gonna need you to help me. Can you go into mine? I hadn't submitted it yet, so you can't see it, right?
Right.
Oh
Why?
shit.
I'll show y'all. Anybody else? Anybody else? Questions?
None
All
that I
right.
can think of.
Huh?
None that I can think of.
Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me pull this up. Let me share my screen. Okay. So share my screen. All right. So what is the program to do? You got two programs. One to write a program, get the data from a data file, right? Sort the data. Well, get the data, print the data, sort the data, then search, and then print. Correct? That's the general idea. Get 10 records, sort the data, search for a particular record, and print the data. So this is somewhat of what you're supposed to be doing. Let's see something. So I'll run this program. All right. So looking at this, it printed the data. All right. This was my data file. Now this is just a header here. Everybody can see this. So I have, now I didn't do it exactly like yours. Yours had name and year and amount. But I'm saying it's generally the same way. So I read it in the string. I have these these items, right? Each one of these items have a quantity, and then they have an amount associated with them. All right, that's just fictitious data, but it's data nonetheless. So now the data was read in from the data file. What the data file looks like? Okay, let's look at the data file. Data file, item, the quantity of the item, and then a cost of the item. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I have three different things I'm reading in each time I'm reading from the file. Okay. I'm reading in an item, a cost, an item, a quantity, and a cost.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does it matter how we formatted our data file? Because I just did names, numbers, all separately, all in a line.
You're talking about straight down?
Yeah.
What did you do? Name, number, name, number?
No.
Oh, you did 10 names, 10 numbers, 10 names, 10 numbers.
Yeah.
That's not efficient. And that's not, how would I say it, to where you can kind of appreciate it. Like if you were given an Excel worksheet of a report, it would what? Be more or less in this form, right?
Yeah, it would. So
if you do it this way, then you got the concept of taking any type data from any kind of text report, Excel report, and you can what? And you can read it in. You got where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I get you.
Even though the other way would work, but it's not the practical way data is actually stored in the computer. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
Right. So I would want you to have it this way. The other way it would work, but this would be more of the way that you would see it, and you would better understand. Because what? I could have had this, but then I could have had some other numbers, right? Or whatnot. So what you would have to do is go down and add numbers, and you wouldn't know what aligned with what.
Yeah,
but
so
looking at it,
like human readable.
Right. Looking at it this way, you can see everything that goes with motor, everything that goes with transmission. Right. So that's the only reason, even though the other way could work. All right. Okay. All right. What else? Any other question? Okay. All right. So now, and look, what was it? So if you look at this, motor, 21, 282, 29. So checking the data just to check to see if what it's actually reading in my data correctly. All right. So when we look at it or spot check it, let's look at lighter 13, 90, 93.23. So my data, by just spot checking it, it looked like it's reading okay. Now, the field that I'm going to do a search on is quantity. Now, if we remember, when we did a linear search, we didn't have to do a sort to find a value in a list. But I want you to do the search with that particular that search, before, just to get in the practice of writing that algorithm. Okay. So don't say, well, Ms. Vessel, we didn't have to do. No, you didn't have to, but I wanted you to do it. Each program going to have a search and a sort in it. All right. Now, so we know that our data is right. So looking at this, now it says enter an int value. Now our int value, I should have said a quantity, but a quantity is any one of these quantities. So say, give me a number to input.
32.
32. So I put 32. If I type 32 and it search for it, it should find what? Knob 32 and 9.38. See? All right, from the binary search, it found knob 32 and 9.838. Now, this is my sorted data. So this was the original data, but then I sorted it by what? The quantity. That was that's the integer array. So if we look at it, 13 come before 19, 21, 28, 32, 33, 44, 32, 80, 62, 82, and 98. So everybody see that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So and I just put a loop in there to keep going because sometimes we want to check it. So let's go back. I'll just put the G. Let's do it again. Let's put 22. I don't have a 22. So hit enter and look what it say. Record not found using the binary search. And then this is something you don't have to put. You just got to say record not found. And then what? This is the listing sorted still. But even though it still prompted what? That record wasn't found in the list. Okay? Right? So then I'm just showing you what the output should look like. Now, so how did we get to this point? Now, grant you class, I didn't do the bubble sort or the linear search. I did the more complicated ones so that we can kind of look through it in class. All right. So let's look at what we have. So in this program, all right, if we look at this program, pretty much your program, you're going to have what? A string array, an int array, and a double array. Everybody understand that, right? Because I'm going to be reading in what? If I could click on
String in a double.
the string, 10 of them, the int, 10 of them, and the double, 10 of them. So everybody got that concept. So I got to read in 10 names. I got to read in 10 ints. I got to read in 10 doubles. I think it was Mr. Gaddis who emailed me, well, Mr. Vessel, how do I read in whatever? So I think his first email. So I explained to him, you're going to be doing parallel array processing. And all that's saying is I got a string array of 10, an int array of 10, and a double array of 10. But when you look at it, this array, which is string 0, 1, 2, so strings, which whatever the name of that string array, sub 2 is tires. That int array sub 2 is 82. This array of double sub 2 is 111, 32. So you're processing it in parallel. Whatever I'm referencing in one with the index, I'm referencing with the other one, with the other array. So that's all it means when I'm doing the parallel processing of arrays. All right. So now, what it is? Do we need our stream? Yes, we do. Do we need our man IP? Yes, if we're going to format our columns of our output. Well, will we need the string library? Yes, we will, because we have a string array. Will we need vectors? No, we don't need vectors. Will we need F-stream? Yes, we will need F-stream because what? We're reading from a data file. All right? So that's all our libraries. And using namespace, std, our standard libraries. Now, here we go. I'm gonna get my data, so this a get function. Now I have two different sorts, and I did this one, and I'll show you this one. This one is the one just straight from the book. All right, it's just doing a sort on one array, which you're supposed to do. Remember, I told you you got to make sure when you're doing your swap. If I swap one position in the array of one array, I have to do the same to the other arrays, right? In order for my data to move at the same time, and I'll have the same data that I had in my original. All right, in that if and what I mean by that, if knob was moved to this 6th line here, knob was moved here. When I move 32 here, I got to move knob here, and I have to move that value here. So that's all I'm saying. You have to make sure that all of that data moves to that line at the same time. And if I had more data, more arrays, I have to do that for as many arrays as I have. Okay, but we'll see why we're doing the swap a little later. So in our get function, we pass in our string because what? We have to put our data in our array. We pass in our int array, so because we got to put our quantities in the array. We pass in our double array because we got to put our double values in our array. And then we passing our int, which is this constant value here, this the size of our array. Okay, because if you notice in our loop here, where is it? Not here. In here, I did for x equals 0, x less than size. So I don't have to put a value. So if anytime we read more or less of our array going to be larger or smaller, all I have to do is change this number here, and it's automatically done throughout the program. Now, for the selection sort, we reading in, we passing the string, because we sorting the data. So when we sort it, everything got to be moved. So depending on if it's not already sorted, moving our string to the proper position, that's the array. We have to move our int value to the proper position, that's an array. Our double value to the proper position, that's an array. And then we got to pass our size of our array, okay? Now in our search, we're passing everything which is the same except one more value. We actually passing in the value we searching for, okay? So we're gonna pass the string array, we're gonna pass the int array, we're gonna pass the double array, and we're gonna pass the int value that that we searching for to that function so that we can do our search. All right. Now, then. And like I say, these two are basically the same, the selections are, but one I just got correct on it. Then the search, we're gonna pass the string. Well, we didn't need to. Really, in the search, all we needed to pass was the int. That's my bad. All right, but in the search, all we needed to pass was this value because all we was looking for was the subscript that it was equal to. All right, so we didn't. Wide phone. All right, so yeah, all we needed to pass was the int, but I passed everything. Plus, the int array and the size and the int value that we're searching for. So that's all we needed to pass for that one. But I passed everything. Now. And then for the put, we want to put back what? The string, which I'll put in the data, the int and the double, and then we pass the size so we can manipulate our loop. Okay, now, so here we have our IF stream where we actually giving our file stream an object, and it's called in data. This will allow us to read from the data file. So in our main function, okay, we have an array called item name, and it's being the size declarator is set to equal to CNT, which is 10. Okay, we have an item quantity, or QNTY, which is set to CNT, which is still 10, and it's constant, and a double of item cost, which is CNT. All right, now. So now, and this int number here will be used for when we actually do our search. See here, enter our int value. That's when we're going to be doing our search for our value. So that's where this comes from. All right. This is our 3 arrays where we're going to read in the data into those arrays. This value here will be the variable used to retrieve the value that we're going to be searching for. And I just did a loop to continue, so I won't have to keep trying to execute. So if you notice, the first thing we're going to do, all right, we declared our variables here. We're going to go to our get function. Our get function, we're going to pass our name array, our string array, which is item name, our int array, which is item QNTY, and our cost array, our double array, which is item cost, and our value for CNT, which is 10. All right. When we pass that to the get, when we call the get function, look what we're doing. All right. I created a new name for my array, but it's really being referenced, right? NM here is actually, well, put it like this. Item name array is being now referenced by what? NM, right? Item quantity or QNTY will now be referenced by NUM, right? And it's an array. The item amount array will be referred to now by AMT, all right? And then the CNT, which was equal to 10, is going to be referred to by size, okay? So all we did was we opened our data file, which has our data in it, and what? For int x equals 0, starting at the 0 position, not 1, because what? Array position sub 0. X equals 0, x less than size, which is what? 10. It's been passed from the main function, which is 10, all right? X plus plus. So when X is 0, look at this. This is my data, my file object. So in data, so I'm reading from the data file. I'm gonna read in my name sub 0, my item name sub 0, my item number sub 0, and my item amount sub 0. So what it's gonna do? It's gonna read in motor 282.29. Next time through the loop, it's gonna read transmission 44 and 988.28. Next time through it's going to read tires 82 111.28 until it get to that 10th value or 10, and it kicks out. All right. So that's what's happening for the first time, and I'll just run it and stop it. So when we run this, that's where you get this from. No, not even get it from, but the get. It got it. It put it into the string array, the int array, and the amount array. Okay, so the data was put into those arrays. I ain't gonna close it. I'll just go back here. So now, so we read the data. So that's all you're doing when you read the data. Just read the data into what? The string array, int array, and double array. And like I say, it got 10 elements, got 10 elements, and got 10 elements. You're going to be processing them in parallel. Whatever I do to one to move whatever, I'm going to have to do to the next one, and I'm going to have to do to the next one when I'm sorting. Okay? So now, then we put the exact same thing that we got. Read it in. Now we want to put it out. Let's look at our put function. All right? All right, put item. Okay, we pass the string, we pass the int, we pass the double, and we pass the size. So here, I just told it double space, then tab, and then to the left, set W15, put item name, all right? And then set width to 6, put quantity with 2 spaces here and a space after. And then set width to 10, put 2 spaces and put amount, and then also double space after it. All right. And then after I put my heading, now I have a for loop that's just gonna what? Output. Gonna go from x equals 0, x less than size, which is 10. And I set my precision just in case I read in a number that was whatever 0.00 to make sure I get my 2 decimal places. I use set precision 2 and fixed. All right. So now set W15. I'm outputting the string array that was sub-0, and then the int array sub-0, and the double array sub-0. Goes back to same thing, sub-1, sub-1, sub-1. Next time through, sub-2, 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 until it gets to 10 and it kicks out and it returns back to the main function. Now, this part of the program should be somewhat similar to what we've already done and you've done in the previous program, right? But the previous program we read in what? A 2-dimensional array. Now we're reading in 3 1-dimensional arrays. Everybody understand that? And you see how the concept totally changes. So, and then I try to tell you, don't try to think closed-minded. Try to teach you the concepts so that you're able to take a situation and program. All right. So now, why couldn't we use a multi-dimensional array in this instance for this program? Like say for quantity and cost. Why couldn't we just made that 2-dimensional array?
Because it's different data types.
Bam. That's it. Bottom line, the array, if you notice when we first started talking about arrays, the array has to have what? Common data types. If I do an int array, everything I put in it has to be int. So I can't do an int and a float, you know what I'm saying, and say I'm doing 2-dimensional. No. So we processing it in parallel. Now, so we got the data from the data file. We printed the data from the data file, which is this. So that's this part, you know. And then now we asking them for a value so we can search. But before we search, we need to do what? When we doing a selection, when we do a binary search, what's one of the rules for a binary search? Before you
data.
Correct. You have to sort the data. So and when we're doing our program, that's why we're going to do a sort before we do a what? A search. And notice here, this is the sort function. Okay. So we're going to sort the data. If it's already sorted, well, so be it. But we making sure, because you can have one number out of line, which can cause your program, depending on what value you put in, to go awry and not be correct. Your output not to be correct. So let's look at this selection logic. Now, I'm gonna show you the correct one, then I'll show you the wrong one. I'll execute it and show you why. All right, so looking at this, all right, let's move, what we passing? We're passing we have to pass all of the arrays, because what? We gotta move them as we find where to put them. So let's move down to the selection correct one. I think I put it in the bottom. Now, if you notice, this information here, all of this straight from the book, class. Except what? If you look at this, 2 lines I added for this because what? We have where it is, min value here, that's for our int array. But if we move in our int array, when we sorting, we need to move our string array. So I put a min string. If we move our string and our int, we're gonna have to move our double array, the value. So I have a min amount, which is double, all right? But everything else in the program minus size. Now they might have a different value for size. I use size here. They may have size. All right. Then look here. I added these two lines. Why is that? Because in this logic, when they assign min value, the content of num sub start where is that min? Well, min value to equal to num sub start scan. Now I need to assign also the min string to equal to nm, which is our string array, to start scan, which start scan was what? The starting position where we start equal to 0. It started at 0. But as we go through the loop, what? Start scan changes. So as we change it for the int array, we have to do what? Do the same for our string array and our amount array. Okay? Now, inside of here, when we processing our array, all right, where we go over int index equals start scan plus 1, all right? It asking us if num here in the book, it was what? Array. But our integer array is what? Num, remember? So if num array is less than min val, so that's why we what? We are assigning min val to equal to num sub index. But if I do that with my min val, so you see how you got to keep track of what I'm doing to one array. Whatever I do to my integer array, I have to do it to my string array. I have to do it to my double array. And if I had another string array, another string array, another string array inside the program, I'd have to do the same thing to those other string arrays also, because so what? When I look at my data going across, I should see the exact same data that I see in my input file, not data like, the name is here, the number is here, and the amount is here. No, everything has to be aligned across. All right. So that's why this is added. But then if you look down here, this is where the swapping is being done. Notice what happened. They stored num sub start scan, which num was our integer array, into num sub min index. But then they storing min value into num sub start scan. But if I do it, whatever I do for my integer array, I have to do it for my string array. The string array, and I have to do it for my amount. So this min string and this is min amount. But everybody see what I'm saying? When you whatever you do to that one array, you have to do it to the other so that all that data can be pushed to the proper line. Otherwise, your data gonna be all screwed up. Excuse me? Question? All right, so let's go back to it. Oh, I exited out. So let's run it. What did I do? Okay, so let's run it. All right. So enter a value, and we looked at it. If I input 12 or 13, all right, it found. Well, let me open this up. All right, so it found it. 13 was lighter. Okay, it outputted what? Lighter. 13 and what? 93.23. Lighter, 93. So I have the same value. Everybody see that, right? Everybody see that, correct?
Yes,
All
sir.
right. All right. So now this is what I'm gonna do. Now I'm not gonna execute the one I corrected. I'm gonna execute the one that's pretty much exactly out of the book. So let's look at it. I know, like I said, I just changed. I had to change the array because that was they had in the book as array was the integer. Up here was array, and then all this was array, and I had to change it to none. So look here, you got only this. So what happened to my name and amount? I didn't set the scan, right? So and then look here, my swap. I'm only swapping what? My integer array. I'm not doing anything with my others. So let's run this program and I'm gonna show you what happened. If you say, well, Mr. Vester, I copied it out exactly like the book. So say I put in 13. All right. Oh, well, it found it because let's see how, did I change it? Did I change it? Let's see. I did take it out though, I think. Yeah, I took it out. So let's run it again. Run it. And so I'll put in, say what, 19. And it's running, but it ain't supposed to run. Let's see. Oh, no. Am I compiling it? Am I doing this right? This is right. And this is right. Selection sort. Okay. Or did I change the selection sort? No, that's correct. And this is the one that should be executed here. All right.
Mr. Sylvester,
Yes.
on the
I mean-
selection sort,
Right.
you could just use the function swap.
Well,
'Cause I feel like it makes it less confusing as far as seeing all those variables
variable in it, right? But the understand the concept, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I understand the logic. It makes it more
Much
confusing
easier.
and
Right,
less. Yeah, it makes it
right.
easier, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
but I'm saying I would say do it this way, the way you understand what is actually going on. But like I said, I understand, like say using the swap, but I don't. Let me see what's going on here first. But I would say use the way you're swapping it. And like I say, when you learn it that way, you understand the concepts of what's going on with the swap. You know what I'm saying? You get on the compiler where you can't, well, normally you can't, where you can't swap, and then you're like, oh, well, the function does this, whatever. I don't, so I would say learn it just to understand it.
You just
all right?
making it hard.
No, it's not, but it's not making it hard. It's making it to where you versatile.
Understand the logic.
Yeah, you versatile. You get somewhere it's like, okay, this. Oh, they got a function. Boom, I can put the function, but I know what's what's going on.
Because I did it in the first one for the array program.
Uh-huh.
And, it made me make more mistakes doing that instead of just doing the swap function.
Right, just doing the swap. But you understand.
I might actually put in index, like my variable is indexed instead of putting min indexed, or something like that. So
right. Okay. Let me see something. This thing is not supposed to be doing this. What am I doing? What's going on here? It looked like it's just executing the same program. Why is it doing this, debug? Okay, that's that. Okay, this is this. Let me put in. Oh, this is supposed to be sorting, no, not searching. But it's sorting it. It's doing it every time. Why? And the amounts is right. Like that. No. Why is it doing it? Why? Now you see, I'm not under. It's supposed to not work, and it's working, and I don't understand that. Let me do this, and it might be no, because I'm telling you.
Did you save it in Visual Studios?
Right, but it's in Visual Studio.
Yeah, well, Visual Studio's been having a bug recently. I've had it too, where if you save it, it won't run differently. So if you put CL right now, it probably won't do it.
Oh, okay. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna comment, not this one. I'm gonna comment that function out at the bottom, the correct one. See what happens. Because now it should not execute this one. But for whatever reason, it's giving the same result, and it shouldn't. Now, let's see. Did I get it? Okay, let's see. Run it. Oh, yeah, I think. Okay, let's see. 13. No. I'll tell you what. I'm going to compile. Let's see what happens. Well, I can't compile. Whoa, what's going on? No, I'm wondering why it's not letting me build it again. Let's see, let me put a space in. No, something is up. Yeah, for whatever reason, it's stuck some kind of way.
It could just be Visual Studios. You could just copy and paste it into another
In
program.
a new programmer. Cause it like say when I go to build, it should allow me to compile it. So it's not recompiling, so I'm getting the same result. So I'm a copy it. I'm gonna copy the data file. I tell you what I'll do too with that. I'll add that down here. So I want to retype that.
You gonna get tired of selling all your clothes.
Copy. And paste. All right, so now I'm gonna do a Control A, C, and I don't know what's going on though. Save the changes, okay. New project. See here, Miss Bradford, you could give it a new name, you know.
And I think I put .cpp on
Oh
it.
no, but you don't. No, that's a project. Yeah, that's a project. And it's probably confusing because when you open up a .cpp, it just open it up, but you can't compile it or whatnot. Yeah. Okay, so let me do this. Okay. Source, add, item, CPP. All right, Control V. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. And go back here. And go add. And that's there. And paste. All right, so let's see what happens right here when we compile it. I'll get on there. Build it. Okay. That's something. I wonder what happened. And then we go to debug and we run it. All right. So now, I'll put in 13. All right. So look what happens. Let me make it larger. All right. It still sorted it. No. All right. Yes. Okay. It sorted this, but look here. Motor is still what? The first record, right? But motor supposed to be what? Equal with what? 21. So motor should have been down where? Down here. The value here for the amount was never brought down, right? So what happens is motor for 21, this should have been 282.29. So what? It sorted only what? The array that was the integer array, but the string array was not sorted, and the double array was not sorted in relation to the what? The actual int array. So see how your data can be somewhat off, and just say for instance, well this one happened to
Why
be
is the motor 13 if the lighter is 13? If you put in the int, why is
That's what I'm
that?
saying. It's off because he didn't.
Just
sort
the
it
only
earlier.
column was sorted, right? Because remember the first code I showed you and I had to add those lines. Right. Whatever I did to one array, I had to do it to the others. But what we did in this one, I showed you, if you just copy that code out of the book and say, oh, let's say that's the code. And so I'm going to just type that code and it should work. Nope, it's not going to work because whatever you do to this array, you have to do to this array and also to this array. And if you had any other arrays on the listing, you'd have to do the same with all the rest also. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. And a lot of students, what they say is, oh, Mr. Professor, I got my output. It showed this, and look, my output is sorted. But then I'll say, okay, for motor, what should be the quantity? And then they'll say, oh, okay. So they didn't actually sort the data correctly. Now, because if you're looking at this, you can say, well, it may not make a difference. If you were, let's say you were this person, whatever. Say this person here. Say this was a name. Say Cruz, all right? And somebody wrote the code and sorted this data, and then they printed out the data, and still Cruz still was at the same place. So that don't matter. I'm trying to find one that had a high value, like no, not motor. How would I say it? But anyway, in a sense, you wouldn't want this person to have this quantity and this cost when really it should be. How did it get the same amount? Well, this number here. Yeah, the amount gonna stay the same because we only changed this one. So, but if we was multiplying something to get something, that could make this a whole lot different. You understand? So the thing is, you wouldn't want that to be in this fashion, because if your amount would have been larger, it might not match with your name. So, and being that it wasn't sorted correctly. All right. So that's why I say whatever you do, we're doing it in the parallel. Whatever you do to this array, you have to do the same thing to the other two. So let's go back and look at the program. I'm gonna minimize it. So in looking at the program, in this sort, all we did was had a starting point for number, and we kept going. But then when we did the moving up the index, we only did it for number. And then when we did the swap, we only did it for number. But remember, this is where what? We added our two variables, and then whatever we did for number, we did for the string and the amount, and then whatever we did here, for number, we did for string and amount, and then even with our swap, whatever we did for number, we did for string and amount, and with our string value and our double amount value. Okay. Everybody see that? Questions? Everybody should have at least written a program and got it to read the data and print the data, right? Y'all should at least have that much done, right?
Yep.
Because that way, like I say, you can do those functions. You don't have to have these functions. If I do if I comment, I'd have to comment all that, but I could comment all this out and just have get and put. You know what I'm saying? And it should get the data and then put the data. And your same put function is going to be used to put the data once it's sorted, because it's the exact same data, but it's just rearranged. All right. And then this is where all of your sort. Well, you got your sort. Now, some students might be kind of confused with the sort. Not with the sort, with the search. Look at this search here. Notice what we have at the beginning. We don't have void this time. We have what?
Int, because you're returning an int value.
Correct. We returning a value. That's very important, class. What some students try to do is they'll try to put an if statement in here. Oh, if it's this, that, then it's found, then it's not found. I don't want that. I want you to return that subscripted position back to the main function. So therefore what? Int, whatever that binary search function name is, all right? And then what? When I actually use it, look what I did here. Int, fnd, like found, but I call it fnd. It's equal to whatever this function will return, all right? If it's a negative, all right, if it's greater than -1, meaning 0 and above, and really it can only be from 0 to 9, right? Because that's our subscript. So if it's greater than a -1, we know that we found that particular value and we want to print it. We want to print name, sub, whatever that subscripted value, because this is actually FND will equal to your subscripted value. Name, if it's sub 3, name sub 3, item quantity sub 3, item cost sub 3, all right? But if it's -1, because what we told it, if it does not find it, we're going to return a -1. See, position is equal to -1. If we never find it, we never change in position to equal anything. So we never really fell into this if loop. And what? Position is -1 back to this function here. And what's going to happen is it's going to print out record not found, all right? And then print out the sorted array. Okay? And like I said, I just put this loop in here just for my purposes, for you to see, because I could just do B, as long as I don't put N, and I could run it again. That's my output, the original. And if I put in 98, all right. So it sorted the data. Wait a minute, Clyde. Yeah, right. No. What did I copy here? Look like this data is already sorted, right? Right, Clyde? Looking at this top.
Sorted incorrectly from the last variant.
No, but what? Right, because the array, you're right. Yeah, so, yep, you're right, because I didn't go back and read, which you can't read unless I close it and reopen it. Yeah, so it's already sorted from the previous execution or loop. All right. Okay. Now, like I say, data file, you're going to have to have your header file and then your code. Now, you're going to just have get, whatever, your sort, and then your search, and then your put. All right. Those are the print. That's your your different functions you're going to have. And then you're going to have your variables, and then you're going to have your get, your put, and then you're going to have your sort. All right. Then you're going to have your search, but you're going to ask for the value in the main, pass the value in that search function. I mean, search function, and then based on whether or not it returns a positive number or 0 or a positive number, then it will give you this, or it will tell you not found. And then after that, you want to print out the original text or the original data. All right? Questions? Now, and like I say, if I do this and I'll pull up, and like I say, it's coming straight from the book, but you have to know the variables you're using and what and how they are being used. All right. So if I pull this up, it might be a little small, class. Let's go to the selection. All right. So we look at this, all right, and we go to our selection. Yeah. What I said. Right here. All right. No, it's the binary. It's a binary.
Mr. Sylvester?
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't find the roll.
Right. Just put your name in the dog it. Type your name in the comments. All right. So look here, class. The binary search. Exact same information. Int first is equal to 0. Last is equal to num elements. What? In this one, it was CNT, which CNT was passed into size. Okay. But then you have middle, right, which is also int, no value. Then we have position equal -1. And -1 will be sent back if the record is not found, or the value is not found. Bool found is equal to false. So you're setting that equal to false. And remember our loop here. If found, if not found, which means okay, it's false. And first is less than or equal to last. So that's why it comes in with this. Last is equal to what? Size minus 1. So all this exact same thing, but you're going to have to take this code, match it to the variables you're using, and also be able to understand where and when information is being swapped so that you can actually swap the data in the array and no, this is the search though. This is the search, so that's different from the swap. So that's the search. So this is the search. And search, all we need, and I passed all three arrays, but all you need is the array that you're going to be searching for the value in, and then the size, and then the value. So you wouldn't need nothing else because you're saying, okay, let me find it, what element it is, give me that element value or subscriptive value, and now I'm going to go back to the main function and I'm going to print out that record or the record for each, which is each element of those different arrays for the same element for every array, each array. All right, and then if we look at here we go, the binary. Where's the binary search? Where's that? It's down. What's up? Okay, the binary. Well, that's the one we did, and the selection sort. Selection sort. It should be the selection. All right, that comes from here. From here, starts here, and it stops here. So if we look at it, exact same code, but at the same time, you got to understand what these variables are and understand where you're going to make changes. Because in this program, if you look at it, here, int array. In this program, our int array was what? Num. So everywhere you have array and you're referencing that array called array, you will change yours to whatever name that you was using for the int array in your program. All right. So we look through here and we find here we got array, and then there's the subscript, so you know that this is the array. All right. Keep looking through. Oh, array index. You have to change that to num. Yeah. Array index. Change that to num. Okay, array, change that to num. Array, change that to num. Array, change that to num. So you see how you have to, even though you might have an answer somewhat, you have to make sure you understand how to take that code and manipulate it. Because somebody could post something online and say, oh, this is how you do it. But then if you have those three different arrays that you have to process at the same time, whatever you do to one array, you have to do to the other. The only time you're not doing the same thing is in the if, because the if logic is checking only the int array to try to find it. You're not trying to find every last one of them. You're only trying you're sorting on just the int. And even when you're searching on just the int. Right? But you could be sorting on any one of them, but you'd have to know which one you're searching for and then change your code appropriately. All right? So any questions, class? Questions? Anybody got a little clearer understanding? Hello?
Yeah.
All right. Like I say, it's a little bit clearer, but like I say, you're going to have some issues now, I'm telling you. Any little miss, a minus sign or a comparison, equal, or something, can throw you off. They can be off. Make sure you check your results. Check them carefully. That your code is actually doing what it's supposed to do. Because like I said, when you run the program, you're looking at it and say, okay, I got output. Oh, that's good. It's all aligned. It looked pretty. It's good. but everything that look pretty sometimes ain't right, correct? So
Right.
it's like if I type in what say 33, I should be able to say, okay, the binary search or whatever search, you don't have to put that, but look, okay, it found what? Shift, okay, and then what? Well, no, this this one won't work because this is the one that didn't work. Yeah, so it won't be right. So when you look at that, you say, oh, it's a problem. Shift 33 100. All right, shift 33 100. That's right here, but let's see, shift 98 100. So this is should be 98, should not say 98. Shift should equal to 98. Shift should equal to 33. So I have an issue. Only thing I saw it was my numbers. All right, and I didn't do this and I didn't do this. Okay, so make sure you check that. Any other questions? And did I post that test?
Test 1?
Did I post test 2?
No, sir.
Okay, what I'll do, I'll post test 2 for this week, and I'll make it available up until Tuesday. All right, and
Sure.
do your program, and I want you to let's look at the next chapter right quick to see. Let me go here. Look at
We're gonna have some programs for this next week.
no. Well, see, the thing is,
Because we haven't gone over the pointers.
that's what I'm saying. And if you think arrays is confusing, I wouldn't say pointers are confusing, but you can do a whole lot of mess up with pointers.
Pointers, yeah.
But I
Pointers
want
deal
you
with the
to.
actual memory address, correct?
That's right. They run faster. Arrays do also, because remember, array is a pointer, but the pointer references a location where you can either reference the address or reference the value. All right. And like you say, pointers work at a lower level, which means the program runs faster. It doesn't have to try to convert and do all kind of other stuff. I want you to read up on pointers. I'll probably post a pointer quiz. All right. The assignment though, the test, I'll open up the program, but I won't. I'll put a date for the next week, not
Yeah,
the
because
week.
it's a big chapter too.
Right. But at the same time, like I said, a lot of the stuff is just kind of going over, making you understand about pointers, man. You know, like I say, a pointer. When you create a point, like say here, this say int x equal 25. This say int PRT, but this asterisk saying that it's a pointer. All right. Now, a pointer, how would I say? An int pointer can only hold what? See if you read up on it. An integer pointer can only hold a what? An integer address. So if x is integer, I can store the address of x into this integer pointer. If x was float, I could not store the x address into this pointer. So look, this says int x equal 25. This says int PRT, which in saying that it's a pointer. But look what happened here. PRT, which is a pointer, can only hold a what? Hold a what? An address. What type address? What data type?
Int.
Int. So x is int. So when I put this ampersand here, that says the address of x is equal to PTR. I mean, yeah. So now you're storing the address of x into PTR. So now, if I wanted to display x or the contents of x, I have to use cout asterisk PTR, and it will give me the contents. If I just do cout PTR, it will give me what? The memory address. You understand? Right. So like I say, we'll get into that. And like I say, you can have a pointer and you can have 5 different, say an integer pointer, and you could have 5 different integer values declared or variables declared. So what I can do is, like say A, B, C, D, E. So I could have that integer pointer, A is equal to something, B is equal to whatever, C is equal to whatever, D is equal to whatever. Then I could say what? The address of A is equal to that pointer and do whatever I need to do. Then the address of B is equal to that pointer and then do whatever I have to do with that, using that pointer. Then the address of C is equal to that pointer and just do it out. So you see how you can use that one pointer and store what? Any integer address into that pointer. And what they say is a lot of times it's confusing. I'm not saying confusing, but if you're not keeping track of what's stored or what address is stored in that pointer at the time you use it, what can you do? You're gonna have big old mistakes, right? Because if I have the address of E stored in the pointer, but I really want an address A stored in the pointer, it ain't gonna just tell me I got address A stored in the pointer. All it knows it has a what? An address, right? And if I try to use that value at that address, just looking at it, I don't know that it has A in it. I have to, actually print it out or go back to my program and look through it to see what address is being assigned at that time. So that's some of the things with pointers. And then we're going to see how we can manipulate our arrays using pointers and we're incrementing or adding to the pointer, being that we know the data type, and the data type allocates so much memory per element and stuff. So we'll see that because that's what the program going to do. The program going to allow us to use this. So look what happens here. So remember we said an array is a pointer, right? So we did an array plus 1, but that memory address, all right, is really actually saying the memory address plus 1 times 2, all right? So and the 2 is because of the data type of short. So what it's saying is whatever memory address I'm at, numbers by itself is memory address 0, okay? I'm at my subscript 0. Numbers plus 1, all right, moves me what? Over. But how many does it move me over? 2. Because what? Short. So what it does, it says, okay, multiply times 2 to move me over 2 bytes. All right. Then the next one move you over 2 bytes. Then the next one move you over 2 bytes. If it was double, it moving you over what? 8 bytes at a time. It would be time 8. So you see, and we'll look at that and see how it's being manipulated. All right. And then you're gonna write a program to do that. And then there's another one where you can do the plus or the minus. And we'll look at that. All right. So we'll look at that on next class period. All right. Any questions? Questions? But I want you to read up on the pointers. On the pointer chapter, and I'll post the quiz. Okay. And I'll post the test for chapter 8. The pointers is chapter 9. All right.
Alrighty.
All right. So y'all have a good weekend. Do my work. Hopefully y'all turn in my program. So I need to change the date too, right? Let me do that before we get off, before I forget. So I need to change the due date, right? Let's see something.
For
this assignment. Because what's the date? Tonight?
Yes, sir.
I don't know something. Miss Bradford, I ain't be crying. Hello, Miss Bradford? Unless she go. Let's see, that's 3 and 4. Okay. And make sure y'all do my and I was supposed to, I might send that file to you. My documentation, make sure you do it right. Okay, so what's the date? And like I said, I'll just check the last one class. So, make this by Sunday night. No, Monday is the day. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Sylvester?
Yeah.
isn't October 5th the start of midterms, right?
I don't do midterm.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. I
Yeah,
forgot.
because y'all is the pro with the program. So he said, we gonna be working. We ain't gonna be doing no midterm. Going over the chapters.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sure you probably already said it, but do you, at the end of the semester, do you still allow us to go back and retake all the quizzes and tests?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah, I do the quiz and test. Because like I say, I give you that one extra chance. And like I say, because sometimes you'll learn a little bit more because as we move on, some of the stuff you got to retain to do the next program. And you'll be like, man, that's how is it. That's how is it. I got it now. So I'll just give you the test to kind of, see if you do better, if you retain some information, whatnot. So yeah, I always do that. I always do that.
Thank you.
All right. All right.
Also,
So
Mr. Sylvester, I would like to let you know.
What's that?
That's me. I would like to let you know that for some reason, just like if something happens at random, that if I don't show up in your class or whatever, if like I dropped, it might be because my financial aid hasn't processed through fully because I don't see my award year. So I just want to let you know just in case.
Oh they might just drop it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you might need to keep talking to them to see what's the status.
I've been doing that. I'm gonna call again, sir. Just want to let you know.
Yeah. All right then. Yeah. But you can still keep working on my program.
Yes, sir. I know.
Yeah. Copy it down or download the assignment so you'll have it. Because once they cut you off, you're off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else? Question? Comment? So y'all should have my program. Now, like I say, by now, reading data from a data file should be what? Man, that's almost second nature, right? I gotta have my data, this. I can read it. But when you was looking at it at the beginning of the semester, it was like one of the hardest things to do in the world, right?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully now you done kind of got
get some experience with it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It helps.
The more and more you do, the more and more comfortable you.
Right, that's right, and that is definite.
Like a raise at first seemed like scary, but now it's just like, oh, it's just a rate now.
Right, that's right. And now we moving on, and that's why I say at the end of the semester I do give the test over because, like, man, I got a raise now, but I done took my test and I done messed up on this question and I remember this one. So when we get at the end of the semester, I'll be hopefully grading you on your true knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Right. What all you done attained, rather than just what you got just doing that small amount of time.
Yeah. It's taking some other classes too. Like I'm taking a database designs right now too, and it's helping me understand the data file more.
Them columns
it's
of data
it's almost like a
database.
That.
Right. Right. Because if you notice, in a sense, that's how they do those that junk mail in a sense. They'll get that data going in records, going across or whatever, and they'll take that data and put in a database.
A banking record system. They might, store username.
Right. And then they just say, okay, pick out name, whatever. Right. And put in address form, print it out.
That menu system you taught us last semester too teaches you, like, okay, create new account, close account or something like that. The menu systems that you taught us last semester.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And like I said, it kind of opens your mind. So when you're coding, it's like, I could do this. I could do, you know what I'm saying? So you're not limited to say, okay, well, I just learned this. Okay. And then you go somewhere like, I could do this. But you won't learn everything, but hopefully you learn enough to where you pique your interest to say, let me go try this. Yeah. I can create this for myself.
Yeah, because like 2 or 3 semesters ago, I look at it like a project online and be like, I don't know how to do that. But now I can look at it and be like, wait, maybe I can do this.
Right. That's right. Yeah. But all right, then, like I say, do my work, and I'll propose the test. Let me see something. I need to go back to module. And I need to do that test. Post test 2. Yeah, that content. Everybody okay with that Proctoria, huh? Ain't no issues. Okay. All right. So leave this open to showing the password. What is done? Oh, I need to install a Proctoria on my system, but I don't want to do it now. But yeah, I'll go ahead on and add the test because right now it's showing the password. I'll have to. Yeah, I'll add that later. I'm gonna go ahead on and add the other ones. Module. I didn't do the read for chapter, so I'll do the read for chapter 8. That's October 5th. October. What happened? Okay. October 5th. Quiz. October 5th. 2018. Okay. All right. So yeah, so I have the the quiz and the reading bonus and the assignments. So like I say, that'll be there for y'all. So I'll see y'all on next class period, all right?
Yes,
So
sir.
do my
Yes,
work.
sir.
All right, have a good one. All
Have a
right,
good one,
y'all
sir.
too. All right.
Names in chat, by the way.
Huh?
Names in chat, by the way, for a row. I forgot to
Oh
say.
yeah, okay, yeah. I'm gonna get them out of the chat. Yeah.
Have a good one, sir.
All right, y'all too. Okay.